Okay, my opinion on PlayStation's live service is that they need a live service game that will serve their own customer base. To do a good one is not easy. You really have to blow money. Like, you give a value proposition that has a single player, progression driven game that then has the live service piece tacked on for replayability, end game, and all of that. This kind of thing is not easy to build. In fact, Ubisoft was very, very fortunate to have built something like Tom Clancy for the Division, but they almost threw everything away. The first Division game had a lot of hype to it, but it was a game that was unique. A lot of people who like shooters don't like the Division, but a lot of people who never played the Division, having played it, found themselves enjoying it because it's actually an RPG looter shooter. So it's very different in what it offers, but it was able to create a solid customer base that even after they ran around and made other games, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, Star Wars Outlaws, and even tried to make an offshoot of The Division with Heartland, and even a Resurgence game, which was a mobile game, they still are, in a sense, looking at the opportunity in making a third Division game and continuing that pattern that they started. In the case of PlayStation, the games that they're trying to get out of the door seemingly have almost no audience that's, in a sense, attracted to it. And I think that's their major problem. You got to make IP that is attractive to the people you want to sell it to. And this is not talking about scantily clad or appealing characters or whatever it is, even though they make a very significant portion of some of the games that PlayStation is trying to tap into their market. For instance, the Hero Shooter, where Concord was a big failure. Marvel Rivals came in and pretty much won the day. The Division doesn't have any scantily clad whatever, but it has a huge portion of investment in terms of the open world, the characters, the mechanics, the depth of everything, and a story and a lore that follows it. So they're going to have to do something in this area in this regard. They had an opportunity here, though, with The Last of Us Factions. It was a third-person game, right, with The Last of Us. The Factions was already loved. All they needed to do was now take the entire thing global. They could have taken The Last of Us global. They could have done all kinds of fun stuff with it. But their studio decided that they were going to back out and go the single-player route. Okay, nothing wrong with that. However, there are people on the PlayStation side who are not too fond of what PlayStation is doing lately. I was on Twitter and I saw Astro Cyborg's little post, and he says, "Let Puerto Rock 77 _ cook." I said, cooking? Now, as somebody who actually, is a chef wannabe, I want to learn how to cook. I decided I want to hear, I want to see this. So let's see what Puerto Rock says.
All right, I just catching up to this news, and I'm just gonna be like this. At this point, I don't know how any PlayStation fan is still on board with this fucking, excuse my language.
And yes, there is some language here. Pardon the, I should have given a warning in case kids are listening to this.
I'll be honest, I'm sick and tired of this live service shit. Yeah. I'm fucking sick of it. We got one good thing out of this whole shit, which is Helldivers.
Yeah.
Everything else is fucking been abysmal.
Yeah.
And hold on, let me go ahead and point something out. I remember hearing Puerto Rock complain about Helldivers 2 having an issue that showed that Sony was not necessarily for the gamers. Puerto Rock, I think you answered your question at the launch of this game. Do you want me to remind you or jog your memory? You said that PlayStation was billing its own users PlayStation Plus subscription to play the game on PlayStation, while PC gamers did not need a subscription. That right there should have told you everything that you needed to know. But it's easy to excuse these companies, and so here we are again, them showing that they couldn't be bothered in investing in a strong IP or reestablishing an IP that already has some recognition and bringing it back to the forefront to make sure that it's attractive to the gamers that want to play. And that's all I'm going to just say for the next, I don't know, let's listen.
I don't understand what, I get it. I get the theory of live service. I get it. It makes money, blah, blah, blah. Theory. But let's look at fucking reality. The strategy sucks.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks. It's not working.
No.
It just sucks.
It's working. if the game is attractive to the audience, Helldivers 2 did well. But are they going to make another game that is like Helldivers 2 that would appeal to the audience? Or are they going to jump with the fair games nonsense that is trying to appeal to a generation that is probably not going to play it because they're much more, occupied with Fortnite and Apex Legends? That's where the problem is. They just don't have what I think is, at the moment, something to capture an audience. Marathon, oh, nice colors and nice graphics and stuff, and everybody's looking like, huh? Hey, the whole thing writes itself.
We got Helldivers. Everything else has been abysmal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marathon looks mediocre to a lot of people's eyes. Even some of the Bungie fans are wondering, like, what the fuck is happening? Concord was the biggest disaster in PlayStation first-party history. Now Jade Raymond leaving, which only tells me fair game sucks ass.
Yep.
So you might as well just chalk that up. What are we as gamers? Not content creators, not guys who got their bachelors in business. Just simply as a fan of PlayStation, what are we getting out of all this shit?
Gears of War. Gears of War. Let me go ahead and interject here. And I've said this before. Oh, how I wish the PlayStation actually invested in its IPs, its own personal IPs, and built them out in a way that it could rely on them and an audience that it could rely on when it got rough. Like, there are games that PlayStation can announce right now. Where the heck is a Killzone? What is Fair Games doing here when there's an IP called Killzone? Now, I've never played Killzone more than like 10 minutes or something. I don't know. Or I've seen gameplay. But if I hear Killzone, I recognize the name. What the heck is Fair Games? What the heck is Concord? Does that make sense? Did we not look at the data that said IPs that already have been established are the ones that are likely to sell more? Monster Hunter Wilds, Resident Evil. This is why the big companies are digging back their old IPs and serving either new iterations or remastered or remakes. Elder Scrolls. Is PlayStation sleeping? Like, get this thing going. You have IP. Get some people to code these games, and it's not this soft magazine-y nonsense that y'all are doing over here, expecting that millennials and Gen Xers and boomers are going to pick up a controller and play this childish nonsense that you guys are doing. Like, who are you making these games for? This is kind of frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. What
We got more losses as gamers than wins. In fact, there was a reason why The Last of
As PlayStation gamers.
Us 1 didn't come with the multiplayer. Why? What was the excuse? Because of Factions 2.
Faction
right?
2, yeah. That's right.
Did you get Factions 2?
No.
It's a joke at this point, bro. It's a joke.
So
I've
you
just
didn't get-
uploaded a
so you
6-minute
didn't get-
rant about it.
You know what I'm saying?
Is this Wooly Gamer that was saying that PC gamers don't support? I'm sorry. I just made a video talking about how his comment was very, very one-sided. Oh, man. A very interesting. Oh, my God. It's a joke? No wonder y'all are throwing shots at the PC gaming community. Well, a lot of PC gamers don't even answer you guys. You know what? Y'all are very fortunate that there's a select set of people who are willing to actually talk about this. But the reason we do is because there are people who have already been fed up of this stuff. They've already gone to get their gaming PC and they're enjoying Steam, And so somewhere, somehow, it was imperative that we actually put some, some information out there, regardless of what y'all sat here and fomented over the course of the years. Because PlayStation was making you over-the-shoulder third-person games. Where are they going to find $300 million to make those games? $200 million. The money is now in Xbox's hands. That Call of Duty money. Is anybody talking about the Call of Duty money that made all these games? That was part of the big pool of, money that made these games?
So you didn't get The Last of Us Factions 1, with the remaster, even though it cost $70.
Yeah.
You didn't get it. because the argument was you're going to get factions too. Well, you didn't get that either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is. All we got is Helldivers 2. Wrap this shit up.
That's it.
Box this stupid plan. Box it up. We were fine.
Well,
Listen, PlayStation 4, before the PS5,
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 was the most profitable, and we were fine. Nobody was begging for live service.
That's right.
Right now, live service has been an abysmal Think about.
Hold on, sir. I know you said those people who got their degrees in business, are probably not the people that need to answer this. However, there's a reason PlayStation 4 was successful. Call of Duty and locking down third-party games, including the first-party games that PlayStation actually did bring out towards the end of the generation. I remember those. I remember getting my PlayStation 4 in 2016. I remember Uncharted 4 coming out, I think it was somewhere around 2016 or something like that. And then 17 and 18 were big, huge, massive years for PlayStation. But let's not pretend like it was all PlayStation single-player games that were carrying the ecosystem all that while. There were some real heavy games that came in that PlayStation either locked or had benefits to. For instance, one of my favorite games, Batman Arkham Knight, the PlayStation version had some aspects to it that was not available to Xbox and PC. PlayStation basically paid for some kind of content. They have a relationship with Warner Brothers that they leverage a lot. Things like that. Street Fighter V never left the PlayStation ecosystem, right? So again, let's not just call it that it was just it was a series of things. But now a lot of these publishers are backing out of the exclusivity thing. So the majority of the players are now spread out across PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. So PlayStation needs a way to make money as these guys are backing out from basically giving them a guaranteed gravy train.
This way, live service has been an abysmal failure for this generation PS5. Yet PS5 is still the most successful. So sure as hell isn't because of first-party live service games. PlayStation
when there's Marvel Rivals and Fortnite and all these other games as well that are bringing in revenue for them.
PlayStation will be fine without this live service shit. In fact, not only will it be fine, PlayStation will be better without this live service strategy. They will.
I don't know. That's a bold claim because they've been enjoying live services, just not them going in to make it, right? They've been enjoying everybody else's live service. But again, like I said, their major competitor got a hold of the major source of live service income from a third-party partner, which is Call of Duty. So what are they going to do? Just sit down and let Xbox continue to enjoy all of the benefits? That would be an unwise strategy. They have to do something.
Will absolutely be better. We won't be going through this bullshit. All the bullshit that PlayStation has been going through is primarily because of this strategy. This strategy has not benefited the brand.
No, it hasn't.
If anything, this is the dark, bullshit of the brand. It's live service related. It isn't the hardware because the hardware's fine. Even the Pro is fine. As much as people want to try to grift, reality, it's a great product.
It is.
Right?
It's a scam.
Portal's amazing. Even the VR 2 is niche, but it's great. It's just niche. A lot of people aren't into VR.
What this shows is that the hardware is basically irrelevant. Gamers want to just jam out to games. Do you hear how he's complaining because there's just a lack of being able to execute on games. All the hardware in the world is not going to make up for you basically getting games in your hands to play rather than them getting canceled across the board. And even the single-player games not coming because these live service games kind of stood in their way. And then when the single-player games show up, the other live service games from third-party publishers also stand in their way.
Everything is fine. The only thing wrong with PlayStation is the live service.
Yeah.
That's the gangrene of a body part. Chop the foot off.
And the thing is, P-Rock, the thing I agree with you, and I'll add to it a bit, is I don't even care. I mean, listen, us gamers, we don't get any money off Sony's dividends, right? So I don't really care if they lost a couple bucks on this. I don't care. The thing that bothers me is the resources, right? So we lost a lot of resources and time with these studios.
This is enough for me, man. You all had the opportunity to criticize PlayStation and make them act accordingly, but you all heavily criticized Xbox and made them a giant juggernaut because you put them in a place where they beg for your money. PlayStation has not been in a place where it begs for your money, so they're just continuing to do what they want to do. Are you going to make PlayStation beg, or are you going to continue to champion and herald what they're doing? You're going to encourage the behavior that you want to see. It's just that simple. All of this sitting around on podcasts and talking all day, every day is not going to change PlayStation's mind. However, withholding your monies from them is going to basically get you the results that you want. But I guess we'll see if PlayStation players who actually are tired or are committed to making PlayStation be the thing that it is. I've put my PlayStation Plus subscription aside. I put my PlayStation aside and I said, nah, if you guys are not going to give a value proposition that makes sense for me, you're not going to see a dime from me. A PlayStation player is committed to doing that, because if you do it, people will come out and say, well, everything is still fine. Why nobody cares about Xbox? Okay. Take the care for PlayStation and maybe go to the bank with it and see if you're going to get any games out of it. Well, we get Xbox games. Great. Enjoy them. You shouldn't be missing PlayStation games anyways if you get Xbox games, right? Aha. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you all so much. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.